In almost Good Yontiv, everyone. I hope you are enjoying your preparations for the Seder and looking forward to a beautiful evening. I'm blessed to be together with my family out west, as you can see in the background. It was the first time we have burned the chametz in the snow, and very, very grateful for the opportunity to have 50 of us Kanai Nahara together. And as we sit down together at the Seder, 4 generations, I think about the fact that we Jews have been doing this generation after generation, uninterrupted, all over the world. No matter where Jews found themselves, there was a Seder happening tonight. And good times, bad times, it's not as many generations as people think. About 100 generations between us and the Exodus. And as we sit down inside at our Seder and have 4 generations, thank God, sitting together, it's not that difficult to imagine this scene times 25 going back to the original Exodus from Egypt. And that is the power of this night, Jewish continuity, the next generation being the next link in our glorious chain. There's a fascinating law, biblical law, when it comes to eating the Seder. Now, in biblical times, remember, the Seder also involved a Paschal offering. And there's a number of laws found about how to eat the Pesach offering and the laws of the Seder. And one of them is Bevayit Echad Yeyachel. The Seder has to be eaten in one home. You can't go Seder hopping, first cup over here, next cup over there, matzah there, mar there. No, has to be one house. And the sages learn out from here an additional law. It has to be in one sitting. You are not able to have the Seder and interrupt. And then another, one sitting. Comes along the Talmud and asks a question, what happens if someone falls asleep in the middle of the Seder? Can they resume the Seder when they wake up? The answer may surprise you. The Talmud writes, no. Once you fall asleep, you have hit stop, not pause on your Seder. And if you wake up, you have to start the Seder all over again. Now, don't get scared. I know some of you have probably fallen asleep before after some good wine. There's a asterisk. The Talmud says that is only the case if everybody falls asleep or you're eating the Seder alone. But as long as there are at least one other person, if you're in a Seder and there are others that are awake and you fall asleep, it's just the pause button. And as soon as you wake up, you can resume that Seder and continue where you left off. And this is a technical law that has a very deep and profound spiritual lesson. In a sense, all of Jewish history, these 100 generations that I discussed, 3,300 years has been one long Seder. We are leaving our own Egypt. One day we will experience the ultimate redemption. And we've been through good times and bad times, the matzah and the maror, the crying and the tears and moments of freedom. It's been one long Seder of Jewish history, doing mitzvah after mitzvah and making this entire beautiful world a better place for Hashem. But sadly, throughout our long exile, sometimes Jews have fallen asleep. There have been times throughout our history where Jews have said, you know what, it's too long. I've engaged in other pursuits. Judaism, Torah, mitzvot, Yiddishkeit isn't touching me for whatever the reasons, often to no fault of their own, lack of education or difficult persecution. They've fallen asleep at the Seder. And now comes along this profound law that as long as there are those Jews that are engaged, that are keeping the flame of Judaism going, our job is to keep the seats warm for those Jews that as soon as they are ready to engage, please God, let it be very, very soon. We welcome them back and we say your seat is warm. We are ready to teach you the beauty and the joy of Torah and mitzvot. You are part of this Seder as much as we are. Join our journey as a people. This is your rightful place. And join us as we continue the next chapter of the Jewish story. Leshana haba b'Yerushalayim.